The vault door stood open, but not inviting. A slab of steel and silence holding the cool breath of money without showing it. Elias paused at the threshold. He had expected relief. Instead, a tightness formed along his jaw, the quiet pressure of stepping towards something that could define him more clearly than he defined himself. He didn't enter. He listened. A low hum inside the lights. An elevator coughing somewhere above. The faint scrape of his shoe when his weight shifted half an inch forward and stopped again. The air behind him felt humid. The air inside the vault felt neutral, indifferent. He crossed the line slowly. Inside, the walls were matte and functional. Rows of identical boxes sat in disciplined silence. No shine, no ceremony, just structure, the architecture of restraint. He located his number. His hand hovered over the lock longer than necessary. He remembered the first time he opened it. The brief surge of pride followed by the deeper recognition that pride attracts attention, and attention rarely arrives alone. Since then, he had avoided frequent visits, not because he forgot what waited inside, because he remembered exactly what it made him want. The key felt heavier than metal should feel, a small object carrying decisions older than tonight. He turned it. A soft click. The lid resisted slightly, as if the air itself preferred the past to remain closed. Inside rested a single envelope, worn, handled, patient. His handwriting across the front. Not his name. 3 words. Not for today. His breath slowed. Not intentionally. Just enough for the silence to expand around him. He lifted the envelope, then set it back down without opening it. His fingers rested on the edge longer than necessary, sensing the familiar tension between permission and restraint. He left the vault with empty hands. Outside, the city moved without knowing him. Streetlights washed sidewalks in dull gold. A bus sighed at a curb and disappeared. In the lobby, a security guard acknowledged his existence without curiosity. Elias walked through the calm, carrying nothing visible, yet feeling heavier than when he entered. At home, he kept the apartment dim. 1 glass of water, 1 quiet kitchen. He watched the surface settle after the pour, small ripples taking longer than expected to disappear. His mind tried to finish future conversations that hadn't happened yet. He refused to follow them. At the table sat a closed laptop and a blank notebook. No vision boards, no declarations, only empty paper. Honest, unimpressed. He had built his money quietly. Small routines, repeatable decisions. Boredom as camouflage, discipline as architecture. Stability followed. Loneliness followed too. There is a particular silence that comes from choosing restraint while others celebrate noise. Nobody applauds restraint. Nobody notices the purchases never made. Nobody congratulates the quiet refusal that prevents future collapse. Some nights, he wanted to surrender to comfort just to feel visible. He thought about the envelope. He had written those words after his first real win, when praise began sounding like expectation, when approval started feeling like a transaction. Not for today, because today is when emotion speaks loudest. Today is when pride wants witnesses. Today is when fear disguises itself as strategy. He opened the notebook, wrote the date, then 1 sentence. Hold the line. He watched his mind try to convert the sentence into an identity, a philosophy, a performance. He closed the notebook immediately. He slept without checking numbers. Morning arrived without ceremony. Same train, same blocks, same coffee. Ordinary movement protecting internal stability. At work he spoke less, observed more. Power without urgency became visible, the calm presence that does not chase validation. Near noon, a message appeared. An old friend, a celebration dinner, someone else's success. His first reaction, decline. Not because he disliked them, because visibility around money activated his oldest reflex, disappear. He typed can't, paused, deleted it, typed sure, paused again. His chest tightened, control versus connection, discipline versus humanity. He placed the phone face down, and waited through 1 full minute of silence. No decision, no justification, just space. Then he wrote, "I can come for 1 hour." No apology, no explanation. A boundary without performance. The restaurant glowed with intentional warmth. Conversations moved fast, shaped by invisible comparisons. Nobody mentioned numbers, yet numbers filled the room like background music. Elias chose a seat angled away from the center. Ordered modestly, spoke only when necessary. At one moment someone joked about finally winning. Laughter followed, but underneath it Elias felt the familiar pressure, the silent measurement of worth. His old reflex surfaced, withdraw completely. Instead, he stayed present, listened, laughed once, naturally, briefly, without exaggeration. Across the table, a friend's eyes met his with quiet gratitude. Not for spending, not for status, for steadiness. When his hour ended, he left without announcement. Outside, the city felt softer. He noticed he was not chasing approval. He noticed he was not hiding either. That night, he returned to the vault. No narrative about discipline, no symbolic justification, just movement. The door stood open exactly as before, neutral, patient. He unlocked his box. The envelope waited, unchanged. He held it longer this time. Not dramatic, just present. For a moment, he considered returning it unopened, preserving the myth of restraint without confronting the content. He broke the seal. Inside, a folded page. 5 lines. No poetry, no inspiration, only boundaries. Do not buy relief. Do not pay to feel safe. Do not confuse applause for respect. Do not let fear pick your timeline. Do not open new doors when you can't close old ones. He felt resistance before agreement. A quiet irritation at the simplicity, the way truth rarely flatters complexity. He read it again. The words did not motivate him. They stabilized him. He returned the paper to the envelope, but left it unsealed. No longer theoretical, no longer protected by distance. He locked the box, stood still for 1 full breath. The vault held money, but the real key had never been metal. It was patience without audience, refusal without performance, choice without noise. He walked out with empty hands. His footsteps sounded identical to before. His face did not. Moral, he left unchanged, and that was the first time the vault belonged to him. Reflective question: what do you keep locked away because you don't trust your timing yet?